Hey guys, Neil here, and welcome to masterplanet.com. It's also this course is GTK Master Planning, and this particular module is module 4. O equals mx to the power of 7, which is organisation equals a matrix to the power of 7. And this is video 8, and I'm just giving you a little a bonus sort of session here, because this is real nuts and bolts of it. The matrix itself is really the nuts and bolts where it all sort of comes together and dovetails together, and it's the infrastructure, and it's the way that master planning comes together on this very infrastructure. So O equals m x to the power of 7 is always where we go. Now we've got the matrix. Okay, that's your matrix, right? So that there is a soul space. These are all psyche spaces. Y-C-H-E, psyche spaces. And so, like when you wake up in the morning, you got heaps of soul space. But say this soul space here is a day. These are all your well, if that's a day, well, these are chunks, and these are all your meaningful moments. So these would be meaningful moments at that size. You can see that because there's only 3 squares represented there. You've got your meaningful moments represented. All those are meaningful moments, right? But down there, one of those is a chunk, a chunk, a chunk, a chunk, a chunk. But it wouldn't happen like that. It happened meaningful moments that way, and then that'd be a chunk, right? Chunk 1, chunk GH2, CH3, CH4, CH5, 6 and 7. So that'd be your chunks all the way down. So chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3, chunk 4, and that'd be all your meaningful moments till you get 49. Meaningful moments equals 1 day. So that's how we do that. But if you notice it, that's X and that's Y in an XY diagram, right? Okay, now the reason we do that is because I should have given you another look at that. That's just on a flat plane. Notice how that's a board there? I can draw that on a board, no worries at all, because it's a plane view. It's what you call plane, geometrical plane. It's not a solid, it's a plane. It's not a solid, it's a plane. It's not a solid, it's plane. Now I go, X, right? We've got X, right? Now X, if we do this sort of thing, and we go XY, that's the way that's drawn. And of course, these are little coordinates too, and you can have minus coordinates too. So you can have, sort of like things that are this high in a minus, and like this high too. So you can have and like this too. So you can have something that goes out here and up there like that, and then out there like that, following these coordinates. So like that's how we can just following the coordinates. So that'd be in the negative, of course, if we do it, but it's still an XY plane. And the reason I'm saying that is I'll show you a little bit more. X means for the body, right? Okay, and Y is for the soul. SOUL. Of course, we're moving in time. That's time, because okay, this is relating to the day. Okay, we've got the time, body, soul. Okay, we'll go back to the thing now that I've shown you that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your X, and this is your Y, right? Okay, we're back there again. So we're moving through time now. Now, the normal system is you move up, right? But we're going down this time because that's the way we work across here. So to do our meaningful moments, and all our meaningful moments we classify them as moving through the Matrix7. We move through them. It's a flow. It's a flow. We flow through them, and it's a little bit hard to get because I wished I could do it a little bit better, but it's the best it can be. So it's pretty good, and solves most of the anomalies really. So we don't have to worry about it. But that would be that flow that we got there would be your psyche space, psyche, CHE space SPACE, right? That'd be going through that way, and so that'd be your time. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you'd have to imagine that, even though that's like that, you'd have to imagine a little bit different. You have to imagine that swapped up the other way, as if you're filling it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you're not, because we write that way. We don't write from the bottom up. But if you were filling a cup up, you'd have to fill it up from the bottom first, and that's what that X represents. So that's your time moving that way. That's your soul moving that way. So there your psyche spaces going that way. See, that's your psyche spaces going that way, and then your time's going that way. So that's how I've got that. That's how I've got that represented, and it doesn't quite. It's one of these things that don't quite work out, but it sort of works out enough that you can see it and understand it. So we've still got the XY thing happening, right? But instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're doing it the other way around. We're going from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So when you fill one of them up, it's one of them up, one of them up, one of them up, one of them up, one of them up. You sort of go through your Matrix7. You go through the wave motion, the psyche space motion, to reach your 7 down there. You're moving there, and then once you've done one of them, well you tick it up. So then once you've gone through the motion, you know how much time it's taken to go through that motion. Go through that motion, you know how much time it's taken to go through that motion. Go through that motion, you know how much time 3, time 4. So in that sense, it does work out, because every time you reach the 7, you can time it. But while you're in here, while you're in the thought, you can't time it, because it's a meaningful moment. You're thinking about it. But once you've thought about it, you can write that thought down. Once you can write that thought down, you're in the position then. And I know it's not crisp. It's really it's not crisp, but that's how this matrix works, and it works. So, but okay, so we've got X. Now you can see our X, right, is for that plane that I just drew, because X is really that. We'll do that X a little bit more like that. There's that X again, right? Well, no, we'll do it again. We'll do that X like this. Okay. Now you can see where I'm going. So we could have that XY like that. So you can see that I'm still doing the same thing. So X actually represents a plane in geometry. Sorry, E, not A. In geometry, right? So it represents a plane. Like that's a plane. This is a flat surface. Okay, so that's an X. It represents a plane, right? And Y represents, and because it's a plane, it's a body, right? It's the same as a body. That's the body as in body, soul, and spirit. And Y, because it's WHY, and it's always a question asked, it represents the soul, right? So it represents the soul, because you always ask why. Don't ask me why. But it represents the soul. So you've got the psyche space and you've got the time, your body, soul. So all we need now is a spirit, and then we're complete man. Okay, I can do that for you too. X, Y, Z, right? Oh, doesn't that look so spiritual? Well, it does. That's what it's about. Z equals spirit. Okay, so that's how I sort of nut this one out for you. You know, I like to keep everything as good as possible for you guys, and neat as possible. So you can see it, X, Y, Z, body, soul, spirit. So this is a bit of a bonus for you. So I'm getting there. I'll have to do another bonus one, but we'll just wipe that out. So we know that we're traveling in X, Y, Z, body, soul, spirit, and this is how we use the matrix. Okay. So we've got X, Y, X, Y. Now, you know, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, but when we do the matrix, we go that way because that's how we fill things out. You know, we write from left to right. From right to left, sorry. I better get that right, because otherwise you'll be swapping hands or something. Okay, but here, we've got something we can't see, because it's behind the plane, and it's called the Z, and we can't see the spirit. Ah! So, you know, S-P-I-R-I-T. So the spirit world's happening even though we can't see it. And that's the depth. That's how we go deep into things. You know, the deep calls unto deep. That's the spirit world. And that's how it's represented. So that's your body, that's your soul, and that's your spirit. And that's how it's represented in the matrix. So all we can represent in the matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all we can represent in the matrix is our X, Y. Some of our thoughts and some of our actions, because that's your body, actions, and thoughts. Okay, so that's how that works. You can't represent your Z. You can't see it. So we have to have another way of getting to Z. And I've got that because I've got that in the book, How to Get There. But you have to think this one through, because the big part of us is our spirit. We're really a spirit. We're really this dude here that we can't see. You can see my body. You can hear my words and understand, you know, my psychology, because that's on Y, X, Y. We can see, we can communicate with those two. But unless the Holy Spirit, or you have a witness, which is different, you can't see a witness. It's something that comes inside your spirit. We know we got a witness on the Z line. So this is why it's such a Kingdom of God friendly sort of thing I'm doing here, because it actually is body, soul, and spirit. But you have to really think. You have to think this plane that's represented here as your body, right? And it's your thoughts sort of coming to fruition in a physical world. So just like my talking's come to fruition in a physical world, so my thoughts they can be represented on a plane. So like when you write stuff down, it's your thoughts written down, so it can be represented on a plane. But to go to the spirit world, we have to go deep, and we're not representing that here. We have to actually think our way to that area there, and it's actually represented quite well, actually, the spirit world in the matrix. But you've got to. It's more intuitive and it's more caught than taught, more intuitive than anything else. Okay, so that's this video, and I think we'll do a video 9 for you, eh? Okay, God bless, and see you soon.